various mechanisms on how this authentication can actually happen. But as far as both sides are concerned, the first step for this solution has been a fundamental disagreement, which is why there have been 11 rounds of talks. This is the 12th, and nothing meaningful has yet been achieved.
Now, Shiv, we know that these talks are resuming after almost 3 years between India and Pakistan. How important are today's talks, and how important are they to make more headway for the future?
I think it's very important to make headway for the future, simply because there is a general consensus between India and Pakistan that Siachen, like you described correctly, the world's highest militarized zone, needs to be demilitarized, simply because India and Pakistan spend a huge amount of money every single day just to maintain troops at that high level. Both countries have a consensus on the fact that this is an extremely hostile area as far as weather is concerned, and if both countries can actually arrive at a common place to agree on demilitarizing it, then it would be in the best interest of both countries. Remember, in 2006, when the defense secretaries of both countries met in New Delhi, there were very cordial exchanges, and both sides had in fact put it down in an official document that, you know, if both sides could agree on that first step of how disengagement can happen, then, Siachen could maybe even pave the way for the larger composite dialogue between India and Pakistan, simply because both sides also agree that Siachen is an actionable and resolvable issue. But that doesn't seem to be the case on the ground, because even though there has been a very active back channel between India and Pakistan on how exactly the mechanism can actually work out, on paper, on the table, in active delegation level talks like the ones happening as I speak right now, it appears that the sticking points have, kept both sides away from arriving at any concrete solution.
Right. Also, now, Shiv, tell us now, considering that today's talks go smoothly to make headway for the future, what issues are likely to be highlighted, first of all, to make sure that these talks can actually continue in the future and that there is no more delay in the talks?
I'm pretty sure that nothing can actually delay the talks, because both countries are in fundamental agreement, and I think that's the best thing about these talks, that the two countries are at least talking in a peaceful manner, which is a great comfort to both nations. The fact is that as far as the agenda points and what the points are that will be raised are, of course, India's stand that authentication of troops must happen, Pakistan's stand that withdrawal and redeployment of troops needs to happen immediately. If both countries, we understand from our sources within the Indian establishment that there is at least an intention to think out of the box and to try and arrive at a compromise somewhere, because both sides also agree that if you haven't achieved anything in 11 rounds of talks on the same sticking points, then there has to be some promise to ensure that these talks actually do continue in the future. There has to be some takeaway. There has to be something meaningful that can be achieved, that can be put down on paper and said, look, we've met 11 times, but on the 12th time, this is what we've agreed to talk about. This is what we've agreed to explore in the future, at least in the next round of talks. Nobody's in a hurry. Everybody wants to be sure that there can be a next round of talks. And I think that really is the agenda. And the takeaway, like I said before, is that the two countries are still talking in a peaceful manner, and that's a great comfort to both countries.
Right. Also, now we know that the Pakistan delegation, Shiv, has come to India. Do we see the Indian delegation coming to Pakistan anytime soon for another round of talks?
I'm sure as far as protocol is concerned, this particular delegation will invite an Indian delegation to Pakistan. That, of course, will have to be processed through the bilateral offices, the foreign offices of both countries, and not really the defense ministry itself. But this is an ongoing process. As you know, there were Home Secretary level talks recently between India and Pakistan. There are talks at other levels between India and Pakistan. There have been high-level visits between both countries, and this is likely to continue, because as long as the leaders of both countries, especially here in India, the Prime Minister Manmohan Singh is extremely positive on one aspect, because no matter where relations actually stand, he doesn't want to stop the exchange of bilateral visits, the exchange of information, delegation level visits to both countries. I don't think that's going to stop anytime soon.
Also, Shiv, could you tell us about the security arrangements put in place to make sure that today's talks go smoothly?
Oh, very high-level security arrangements all through. We understand that the Pakistan delegation made some tourist visits yesterday to the Taj Mahal in Agra, and also to Fatehpur Sikri to have a look at some of the sites on offer in North India, and ahead of the talks today. The talks will continue today and tomorrow. We're not sure if they have any other any other informal plans planned for this evening or tomorrow. But we do know that they're staying at the Taj Mahal Hotel in central Delhi, and there are very high-level security arrangements made for their passage.
Right, Shiv, thank you very much for those details. Headlines today's defense correspondent Shiv Arur giving us the latest coming from the talks between India and Pakistan on the world's highest militarized zone, Siachen, saying that sources are claiming that some sort of compromise will be reached between the two neighbors. Moving on now, 10 people